Oh no. What have you done?
Ensured an end to your schemes. You sought to claim these lands for the Templars.
Aye, that we might protect them. Do you think that good King George lies awake at night, hoping that no harm comes to his native subjects? Or that the people of the city care one whit about them? Oh, sure. The colonists are happy to trade when they need food or shelter, or a bit of extra padding for their armies. But when the walls of the city constrict, when there's crops that need soil, when there's no more enemy to fight, we'll see how kind the people are then.
The colonists have no quarrel with the Iroquois.
Not yet, but they will. 'Tis the way of the world. In time, they'll turn. I could have stopped it. I could have saved you all.
You speak of salvation, but you were killing them.
Aye, because they would not listen. And so, it seems, neither will you.
Ayawas ne yatte hagum sare am dahyayu ne skanas izagum haje.
Oh, there we go. What? What? I absolutely reached Johnson undetected. That is bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. I was stealth itself. Nobody came after me, shot him with a bow and arrow. Most of those guys still don't have a fucking clue. In fact, nobody's chasing me. Even now, I'm not even being chased. That is bullshit. Cannot believe that that was the case. Ah, I worked so hard for it. Everybody who saw this knows. Now, there's an awful lot of fancy stuff that was in that crate, but it just can't fill the hole that being robbed of that particular objective created. What I do like is the idea that they've reintroduced about having to feel slightly guilty about killing the Templars, but I would say that, you know, seeing as he was killing the people, and generally his argument rested on controlling the lands for the sake of the artifacts rather than for the sake of the natives, that his argument was kind of weak in that case, but still.
William Johnson is dead, and with him, the Templar plot to steal the land of my people. But in ending this threat, I have revealed another. On his body was a letter addressed to John Pitcairn containing orders to root out and destroy Patriot weapons and supplies. Should he succeed in this, the colonists will be unable to maintain their resistance, and the Templars will surely take control. So long as Pitcairn lives, the danger remains. I need to find him. He needs to die. I thought it might bring clarity or instill a sense of accomplishment, but all I feel is regret.
Hold fast to that. Such sacrifices must never come lightly.
I had to do it. Not only for my people, but for all the others Johnson would have harmed.
It's a start. But to truly be free of Templar influence, all of them must be dealt with in turn. Even your father.
I know.
You speak the words, but do you believe them? Seems we've company.
What is it?
A request for aid from Paul Revere. Seems the Redcoats are up to something in Boston. Guess you made an impression on the Sons of Liberty.
They mistake me for one of their own. Please tell Mr. Revere he has my sympathies, but I cannot help at present.
You might wish to reconsider. John Pitcairn is mentioned by name.
Where am I to go?
Mr. Revere's house in Boston. If you'd like, I can...
Quite moodily heading off to Pickens' house. What I'm actually going to do is go in the complete opposite direction, because I'm dying to know what this symbol here is on the homestead. I'm not sure if it's just, this is your house, it's a house, enjoy your house. House, which is a house. House. Could mean that. Could be just house, house is house, house. Might not be. Oh, it might be this accounting book, the ledger. Now that an artisan has settled on the homestead, the crafting section of the ledger has been unlocked. Okay. Press A to open the crafting menu. Okay, it's actually doing this for me. I'm not controlling this is another tutorial. Press A to assign lands to one of the artisan slots. There we go. Press A to assign oak lumber to the other resource slot. Okay. Oh, and it makes barrels. Hooray. Press Y to craft. Will do. £25 per barrel. Interesting. Guess we can craft another. Well done. Alright, we have 2 barrels. No doubt they need transporting to make some scenery somewhere. So we'll send these barrels to... We've only got one choice, which is Hancock's store. So there we go. £146 that should generate. Good Godspeed. That's a very pitiful amount of money. It's not going to earn me much over time. Oh, there's another thing here that is the actual housing symbol.
Connor, it has occurred to me that the times we live in will be looked upon by future generations with a certain degree of scrutiny, no matter the outcome. With that in mind, I think it valuable to record the goings-on around the homestead. A true log of how people lived during this time of transition. Something to help color the portrait. What do you think?
When I find a moment, I will try.
Very good.
Okay. Encyclopedia of the Common Man. Hold left trigger to analyze inhabitants and add information on them to the Encyclopedia of the Common Man. I'm not sure who thought this would be a good idea to add as a game design feature. I like the idea of trying to establish the historical time. Can we analyze how this horse lived, I wonder? Fascinating. But it doesn't really seem to work well as a gameplay feature. Certainly not something that I remember to do throughout the course of the game. And it's also something that's probably going to be established through the course of these many cinematics. So really the whole analyze to research these people thing is kind of irrelevant on the side. It's just another collectible thing, isn't it? Oof, there's a lot more missions and stuff around the homestead, but I'm going to head to Boston. I've decided I want to do some more stuff in Boston because I kind of cut my time there short. Largely due to frustration with the unceasing conflict with the droves of nameless guards that I was sending to their possibly undeserved graves. Oh, there we go. I should really know which one's Boston because it's the only bit that's lit up on my map, really. Must remember to explore all of that pretty looking jungle area. Certainly be a shame to waste it. Perhaps I might dedicate later episodes to less pivotal or crucial elements of the game, so that you have the option of skipping over that if that's not really your thing and you just came here to watch the story, which would be understandable. Sometimes sandbox gameplay doesn't always make the best unedited footage. You'll note I said unedited there. It works well with Danny's Saints Row series. Do check that out if you have the time. Sharkies, I should say. Plenty of guards around there. Not doing an awful lot, but that's fine. At least they didn't attack me on sight. I'm gonna climb a few viewpoints on my way to the, well, wherever I fancy going, to be honest. This is my decision. Because the world will feel a lot bigger when the map's lit up, and annoyingly, to make Boston seem bigger than it is at this point, they seem to have clustered the viewpoints closer together. So whereas in Assassin's Creed 1, where you'd have like maybe 3 viewpoints in a single district, a district probably being, you know, not much smaller than this Boston here, in this you have, I don't know, seemingly just endless supplies of churches every 20 yards or so that you need to look around. Admittedly, the insight it gives you into the surrounding area is a lot more realistic, but it does add a certain level of tedium to the whole climbing thing, especially seeing as the building that you do climb is pretty much the same one every time. You just find a fairly tall, official-looking building with a very pointy spire. But I admit that they are kind of limited in what they have to work with here. In one sense, they've sacrificed the urban scenery for the sake of the naval and coastal and rural scenery, which probably is a fair trade-off. Let's admit that the whole clustered roofs and clay and brick buildings of Assassin's Creed 1 right through to Revelations was probably starting to get a little bit tired, you know, and it's nice to have something more refreshing than this, to let us know that there is a world outside city walls. And it feels like a proper open world game now. Revelations did attempt to do that with sort of, you know, the occasional cave and miniature sequence set at a very enclosed destination that you only visited once, generally. And also the maps where you send your assassins on missions across the world, but none of it quite amounts to the same effect as what this game has. I would also argue that a lot of the renovation and building and trading and stuff that's been in a couple of the Assassin's Creed games now is much more relevant for this one. Although it is kind of a cool idea to establish how the Assassins gain their wealth and influence much in the same way as the Templars do. Oop, riot to start there. Must maintain my record and standing within the world arena. But as much as the training exists to establish how the Assassins gain their power, it does become tedious in other scenarios. But in this one, I mean, trade is kind of what makes or breaks you in the early days of any nation, presumably. If I manage to hoard all of the supply of barrels to myself, then I could have a monopoly on destructible scenery in, I don't know, 50 years' time? Now that's something to aspire to in this game. Perhaps that's the ultimate goal, in fact. This is actually Barrel Tycoon 2012. I assume it's 2012. Well, it must be, because the Assassin's Creed game for this year isn't this one, and this one, therefore, was out last year. And I think on the whole... Oh, hello. Oh, it's a liberation mission. So I have to free the conscripts. Alright, let's get our liberation on. So brutal and cruel, his fighting style. Needlessly extravagant. Oh, I think we've lost one of our conscripts there. But we've still got one left, and that's the main thing. Just need to make sure that we survive as well. Oh, fuck it. Okay, they're both dead. Alright, we're not going to liberate anyone this time around. But hey, at least those conscripts didn't have to die in some pointless conflict. Oh shit, this was the worst place to run to. This was the absolute worst place. Almost didn't want to get out of that tree, but they have guns now. Oh, fuck. The jab in the face just knocks you right over. It's my eye, man. Come on. That's harsh. Oh, there's so many guards. It's like they're an army or something. Oh, more down there. Judging by that bayonet that was just within shot, I'm guessing that they're not doing a bad job of keeping pace. Now, I did mean to climb in the bit to my right, but I guess that's cool too, Connor. I mean, it slows you down immeasurably, but... Wow, this chase is going on for a very long while. And every time I get spotted, the area that I have to escape resets, in fact, so that I'm right in the middle of it again. What I really need is a hiding place, but they seem few and far between in comparison to other Assassin's Creed games. There is one that... oh no, wait, that's grass. Never mind. It's very hard to tell as well when you found one, because they've tended not to have so many carts of stuff now, and they just have grass clippings and stuff on the floor. There also aren't there's no longer the roof boxes that you used to have in Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, 3 maybe? Not 3, Brotherhood? Oh, well there seems to be an awful lot of town criers around where I'm stood, so maybe I can lower my... Oh, that's interesting. So what you can actually have is disputed areas, because I think before in the other Assassin's Creed it was either liberated or it wasn't. But in this one, you have degrees of liberation, which presumably affects the Templar presence and Assassin presence. But I'm guessing that we only get the new Assassin recruit once we've liberated the entire area. I think what we're going to do now is head on to the main mission, seeing as we've seen a few viewpoints, and we're already getting to the stage where we're constantly facing large numbers of guards. So that's something that I want to avoid, and maybe stick with the main mission. There we go, now incognito. We'll just climb this viewpoint real quick. I say real quick, we'll spend about a minute on the spire, as is always the case. There we go. It does often look like we're looking at the same bit of Boston when we use these synchronization points, but I think that is due to them being so closely spaced, rather than... well, no, actually, I guess the place does probably look a little bit samey as well, because well, it's quite a uniform style, you know. Certainly not got much on Renaissance architecture, has it? And that's not a dig at the Americans. You know, Assassin's Creed York would be just as dull. That'd be quite cool, actually. Assassin's Creed Swindon. The first Assassin's Creed game to have the actual location in the name as well. Sure, you could have Revelations, but why have that when you have Swindon? I almost want that game to be made just for the purpose of hearing the game announcer on the adverts. Game announcer, that's a job. The bloke on the adverts. Oh shit. Oh, I'm sorry, did I walk through this area that's perfectly accessible via any other logical route? Oh, I'm so sorry about that. That must be very frustrating for you. Well, I seem to have done a good job of finding a hiding place almost straight away from after escaping those guards, which I think has happened never. Come on then. You came searching for an assassin, and what you found was a cart of grass clippings, and also the assassin, but mostly the grass clippings. What? What? What the crikey? What? It was unguarded. I walked through an unguarded zone in incognito mode, and I'm being chased by swarms of guards already. There's like a dozen on me. What is this? What the hell is this? That is bullshit. That is nonsense. Oh my goodness. It's going to take absolutely forever to shake these guards now. I was just there. That's where the mission is. Oh, for goodness sakes. Have at thee. You know what? It's probably not going to serve me in the long run to be in this conflict. A. Oh, Christ alive. It says press A, that's what it said in the tutorial, to use a human shield. God, I'm so close to death here. And every time there's been a firing line, I've attempted to press A to use a human shield, and it has never once worked since that one bit. The 2-second tutorial they gave for the actual useful skill for staying alive. That was skimmed over and doesn't appear to be very well integrated or indeed work. Accounting though, 5-minute tutorial at least, surely. That's essential stuff. I just gained £146. I'd have to loot at least 3 corpses to get that amount, and it's not like you can make one of those every 5 seconds. Very sick of confrontation with guards right now. This whole thing spilled out of the pointless thing where I went through an unguarded fence. That was my crime. Admittedly, these are Templars that are chasing me, but still, it's absolutely ridiculous. Let's see if we can't hide in there. Jump! He's hesitant then. Oh, that's good. Hiding spots seem to heal you up pretty much entirely. Oh, or maybe just escaping does. Great. Well, I'll be sure not to walk through any fences anytime soon. Is this safe? Is this allowed, or will I get 50 guards chasing me? Is this allowed? Oh, that's actually not allowed. Fair enough. Alright, let's avoid those guards, because the last thing we need is another chase. And there we go. We're not too far from this mission now, and I'm sure you'd all be delighted to see the cutscene. But, due to that protracted chase, you are going to have to wait until next time. Farewell.